Hello, everyone, and welcome to your game previews. It is Game Preview Friday, and I am very happy to be joined here with your high school basketball game previews as we get ready to walk into our next two games coming from the Western Conference, which is the Waterwood Tigers, the Chesterfield Roadrunners, the Blackdale Bullhorns, and the Greensboro Chargers. Well, these game previews will be based off the Tigers and the Roadrunners. Let's talk about these two teams and see what they have done to get here. So first, we will begin with the Tigers. This season, the Tigers were 5-3, and last season the Tigers did most likely struggle to get to that point, but they were able to make it to 5-3 this season. Last season, the Tigers were 2-6 as they took a loss to a couple of teams, a loss to the Bulldogs, a win over the Chargers, a loss to the Bullhorns, another loss to the Bullhorns, a loss to the Bear Cubs, a loss to Thunder, a win over the Bulldogs, and then a loss to the Redbirds. So they kind of had a lot a lot of trouble in the 2025-2026 season, but this is the 2026-27 season, and they did pretty good this season. A win over the Bears, a win over the Army Men, a win over the Bear Cubs, a loss to the Roadrunners, which that ended their 3-0 streak. And then they had a win over the Bulldogs, which brought them to 4-1. And then a loss over the Red Wolves that made them 4-2. And then a loss over the Redbirds, which made them 4-3. And then a win over the Spikers, which made them 5-3. This is the greatest record that the Tigers have ever been able to pull off, and they hope to do a little bit more come into the game time. The Tigers have never been into a tournament game, and this is their first time in the season entering a tournament game. The last time that the Tigers played in a tournament was 2012 when they went up against the Chargers, and they beat the Chargers all three games, and then they lost in the playoffs. Now, this is a different type of scenario for the Tigers. Knowing the Tigers' percentages of winning the tournament will most likely be shorter because they have never won a tournament since 2012. But we can always see what it's like coming into this game. Well, let's take a look who we should be looking at in this game. Aiden Jefferson, 28.5 points, 2 assists. Tyson McFeary, 25.3 points, 4 assists. John Huffman, 25.3 points and 2 assists. Jason Taylor, 25 points and 2.5 assists. 5 rebounds. Tyrone Thornton, 25 points, 1.5 assists, and 5 rebounds. McKinley West is 25 points, and right now McKinley West is out for the rest of this season as he was injured in the last game in game 8. So you won't be seeing McKinley West in the tournament game. David Lee, 24.5 points, 2.5 assists. Justin Jones, 24.5 points, 2.5 assists. Tyrone Tyler, 23.5 points, 2 assists, and 3 rebounds. James Harden, 23.5 points and 2 assists. Aiden Goff, 21.6 points, 2.4 assists. Jake Lacey, 21.5 points, 1.5 assists, and 1.5 rebounds. Jamie Anderson, 21.3 points, 3.3 assists, and 3 rebounds. Jaden Morrison, 21 points, 2 assists. Cameron Jones, 20 points, 1.5 assists, and 5 rebounds. Aiden Huffman, 17 points, 1 assist, and no rebounds. So this could make the game preview percentages that difficult for the Tigers. Well, let's take a look at their opponents, which is the Roadrunners, a team who has been in the tournament at least 7 times in their career, and they look to do it for the 8th. Last year in the tournament, last season, the Roadrunners went in a 3-0 against the Bullhorns. First, they beat the Bullhorns 121 to 118, then a 131 to 128, and then a 138 to 133, leaving them with a 3-0 record in the tournament against the Bullhorns. They also went to the playoffs and went with a 2-1 record over the Chargers, as the Chargers beat them in the second game 110 to 106, but wasn't able to complete the third game, which gave the Roadrunners the win. The Roadrunners were able to go to the championship game where they met up with Thunder. So, let's take a look how the Roadrunners have done this season. Well, this season, the Roadrunners got a win over the Bear Cubs, a win over the Red Wolves, as they took a loss to Thunder, the win over the Tigers. And this is what really could make the Tigers, lose again with this loss right here. A win over the Spikers, a loss to the Chargers 2 times in a row, and then so they lost their last 3 straight. So that could really put the Roadrunners in a bad position for this game, all because they lost their last three games. Well, let's take a look who we need to look at for this game. Andrew Harrison, 31.5 points, 3.3 assists, 3 rebounds. Benny Jones, 30 points, 5 assists. Addison Jones, 28.6 points, 2.4 assists, and 4 rebounds. James Addison, 27.3 points and 2.3 assists, 5 rebounds. Jaden Kingston, 27 points, 2.5 assists, 1 rebound. Austin Wilson, 26 points, 2.7 assists, and 1 rebound. Adrian McDowell, 24.5 points, 3 assists. Mason Jarma, 23.5 points, 3.5 assists, and 5 rebounds. Benjamin Moore, 22.7 points, 1.7 assists, and 3 rebounds. Alex J. Smith Jones, 22 points, 2.7 assists, 1 rebound. Roy McQueen, 20.5 points, 2.5 assists, and 1.5 rebounds. Jaden Kings, 20.5 points, 2 assists, 1 rebound. Alexander Jackson, 19 points, 3.3 assists. James McPherson, 18.3 points, 1 assist. Michael Peterson's 15.3 points, 2.7 assists, and 2 rebounds. Philip McKnight will be in the tournament game coming back from his injury. Well, here are your game preview percentages. The Tigers have a 80% chance of beating the Roadrunners due to them losing their last 3 straight games in the season. The Roadrunners have a 59% chance of beating the Tigers in the tournament game only because they lost their last 3 straight and the Tigers were able to win their last they were able to win their last 3 besides the game against the Redbirds. These are your game previews.